Morning.
All right, we're going to start off with some controversial news surrounding Namyang, which is one of Korea's leading dairy product companies. And it's been in the news recently because it claimed that its Bulgaris yogurt product was helpful in containing the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Very hard to believe, and I'm sure many people doubted it. And in fact, did Namyang make a statement on this? Like quite an extravagant statement.
Right. On April 13th, Park Jong-soo, head of Namyang's Antivirus Immunity Research Center, announced that Bulgaris, one of Namyang's dairy product, is effective in preventing COVID-19 in a symposium led by Korean Research Institute of Biomedical Science. On the same day, however, KDCA, Korea Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, contradicted his statement, saying it's hard to predict the efficacy of the product against COVID-19. But in some convenience stores and supermarkets on that day, Bulgari's yogurts were completely sold out, and the company's stock prices went up and down like a roller coaster.
Right. Well, it went up and then it went down because it faced some backlash over that statement. What was the reaction?
Namyang is facing heavy backlash over the announcement despite the company's official apologies, signaling boycotting the Namyang's products might be rekindled. Consumers boycotted Namyang's products after a case found Namyang abused its power and status as a conglomerate to its agency 8 years ago. Also, Namyang's been known as its image and reputation have been tarnished after the founder's granddaughter was suspected of taking illegal drugs, and the recent announcement just rubbed salt into the wound. This means many consumers are considering Namyang's recent announcement as a deceiving trick using people's COVID-19 anxiety. People on the internet are harshly criticizing Namyang and its misleading announcement, and some are willing to participate in boycotting the company by attaching hashtag boycotting Namyang on their social media.
All right. So just to recap what happened after that, Park Jong-soo, the Antivirus Immunity Research Center head, mentioned this. They did retract that statement and said that such research had only been taking place at the cell level and not in an actual clinical demonstration. So they backtracked on their announcement. But even after making that apology, of course, the general public, and there's very harsh reaction to that. But in fact, it's not just Namyang. There have been a lot of false or exaggerated advertisements on products that claim to prevent COVID-19, haven't there been?
Right. The Ministry of Food and Drug Safety found over 1,000 websites have been selling products with false or exaggerated advertisements over the past 1 year until last month. They were falsely advertising their products are effective in preventing COVID-19. Most of the websites caught, and 711 of them were selling food products, while 320 of them were selling health supplements. They use deceiving ads that read ginseng, vinegar, black garlic, or green tea are effective in COVID-19 infections, and they even use false consumer reviews on some products.
If only it were that easy to beat COVID-19. Well, let's move on to some brighter news now. On the environment, there's been a hopeful report on the environment for the past year.
That's right. The International Energy Agency, IEA, found the amount of carbon dioxide emissions in the global energy industry reduced by nearly 2 billion tons, or 5.8%, to 315 tons year on year, recording the highest reduction in carbon dioxide emissions. IEA considers this development is unprecedented because the emission reduction of this scale means the total emissions that would have been generated by the entire EU have vanished over the past year.
All right. Remarkable reduction. Now, what do they think are the main reasons for this huge reduction in carbon dioxide emissions?
This record high reduction of 5.8% is the largest number since World War II and was mainly driven by lower demands for fossil fuels. Demands for petroleum were lowered by 8.6% due to less road traffic activities and sluggish performance of aviation industry. This has contributed to carbon dioxide emission reduction of around 1.2 tons, and demands for coal also decreased, reducing the amount of carbon dioxide emissions by 600 million tons. In electricity, carbon dioxide emission reduced by 3.3%, the largest reduction in the industry's history. The IEA analyzed that we're emitting less and less carbons in the electric power system, whereas we're using more and more renewable energy sources for power generation.
Right. So a huge reduction in overall energy consumption last year, but it seems like in 2021, as more countries kind of resort back to normal and business activity, we might not be able to see such drastic reductions. Moving on to our last item for today. Today, as I mentioned, it is April 19th. So it is also when we remember the April 19th revolution.
This year marks 61st anniversary of the April 19th revolution in Korea. The Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs announced it will hold this year's commemorative ceremony today at the National Cemetery located in Seoul. Considering COVID-19 prevention measures still remain in place, a total of 90 people will participate in the ceremony, including key government officials, patriots, and veterans of April 19th and their families under the theme of, quote-unquote, New Morning and Sing for Democracy. During this ceremony, participants are going to offer flowers and burn incense to the deceased, and commemorative speech and performances will be delivered before they sing the song of the April Revolution.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the update, Angela. By the way, before I let you go, just wanted to ask you the question of the day, though. Have you ever been camping? And if so,
I have, yes.
Yeah? What's your favorite menu to have when you go camping?
S'mores.
S'mores,
Yes.
yes. Not that easy to find in Korea, though, is it? The marshmallows?
I think they sell in supermarkets these days.
Oh, they do?
Yes,
Okay.
because actually in Korea, I've never been camping. In the States, when I was in high school,
Right.
it used to be my annual thing with my school teachers and
Oh,
all
very
of it.
nice. S'mores are like, for our listeners who are not familiar, it's the marshmallows with graham crackers, right, on either side, kind of like a sandwich. Is
Yes,
that how you do it?
and chocolate
Oh,
in
yeah,
between.
the chocolate. Of course, you can't forget the chocolate. All
Yes.
right, wonderful dessert for the camping. All right, thank you very much, Angela, for those updates. We'll see you again on Friday.
Thank you.